Honestly, I didn't think he'd stay so composed. I expected more of a reaction, maybe some shouting or at least some emotion, but it was like all the energy in him was gone. That hurt in ways I didn't even realize were possible. It wasn't just about the engagement ending. It felt like he had stopped caring about me entirely. Hey, I'm Andy. Maggie and I have been together for 3 years, engaged for the past one, and our wedding is in 6 months. I'm not going to lie, things have been great. Maggie is funny, smart, and just completely herself. You know what I mean? She has this way of making you feel like the luckiest guy on the planet. And yeah, I think she's absolutely stunning. Always have. She's not one of those high maintenance types who spends hours in front of a mirror or layers on makeup. She's just Maggie, natural, beautiful, and real. We were out at this little Italian restaurant we both love. It's cozy, the kind of place where the tables are so close together you can hear everything your neighbors are saying. The garlic bread there, incredible. Maggie was picking at her pasta, unusually quiet. I figured she was about to bring up something wedding related, like her mom stressing her out again, or that we needed to revisit the seating chart. I was ready to do my usual, relax, babe, we've got this routine. Instead, she looked up at me, completely serious, and said, Andy, I've been thinking, I want to get my boobs done. I was mid-bite of lasagna and nearly choked. Wait, what? She gave me a look like I was slow. A boob job. Just a little bigger. For a moment, I just stared at her, dumbfounded. Why? She leaned back in her chair, calm, like she had rehearsed this speech 100 times. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think it would make me feel more confident, you know? And it'd be nice to fill out dresses better. She paused, giving me a small smile. You'd probably like it too. Here's the thing, I love Maggie, but this came out of nowhere. She'd never mentioned anything like this before. I tried to laugh it off. Mags, I do like it. I mean, I like you. Why would you want to mess with that? She sighed like I just wasn't understanding. Andy, it's not about you, it's about me feeling good about myself. Okay, I get that people want to feel good about themselves, but this isn't like getting a new haircut or buying a new outfit. It's surgery, actual surgery. And the kicker, she wanted me to pay for it. Wait, I said, putting my fork down. You're serious? Of course I'm serious, she said, as if I was the one being unreasonable. It's not a big deal. Lots of women do it. But Maggie, I started carefully picking my words. You don't need it. You're already amazing just the way you are. I mean it. She shook her head. You're sweet, but this isn't about what you think. It's about how I feel. And right now I feel like I'm missing something, like I'm not enough. That hit me hard. Not enough? I'd spent the past 3 years trying to show her she was everything to me, and now she was telling me she didn't believe it. Okay, I said slowly. But have you really thought this through? Surgery isn't a small thing, Maggie. It's expensive, it's risky, and it's permanent. What if you don't like the results? I'll love it, she said with complete confidence. Andy, this is about me. And if you love me, you'll support me. There it was, the guilt card. And yeah, I love her. But this? It didn't feel right to me. Maggie, I said, leaning forward. Can I ask you something? Is this really about you? Or is it about, I don't know, other people? Like, are you doing this because you want it or because you think other people will want you more if you do it? Her expression hardened. What's that supposed to mean? I'm just saying, I replied carefully. You're amazing as you are. If this is about confidence, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's another way, like therapy or something? She scoffed like I just insulted her. Therapy? Are you kidding me, Andy? This isn't some deep psychological problem. It's just a boob job. Exactly, I said, my voice rising slightly. It's just a boob job. Something you don't need to feel good about yourself. You're already incredible. Why can't you see that? She looked away, and for a moment I thought I'd gotten through to her. But then she spoke again, more softly this time. I just, I want to feel better about myself, about how I look. Is that really so wrong? And now I'm stuck, because no, it's not wrong to want to feel good about yourself. But the way she's going about it doesn't feel right to me, not for her and not for us. We finished the meal in uncomfortable silence. I paid the bill and we walked to the car. The entire time, I was replaying the conversation in my head. This isn't over, not by a long shot. But for now, I kept my mouth shut. Because really, what can you say to something like this? Not because I'm insecure or anything dramatic like that, but because I want to walk into a room and own it. You know what I mean? Heads turning, people noticing. And yes, I want Andy to feel it too, to feel proud to have me on his arm. So the other night, I decided it was time to put it all out there. During dinner, I casually turned to Andy and asked, Have you ever imagined how great I'd look with a larger chest? He nearly choked on his pasta, staring at me in shock. What? He exclaimed, as if I'd just suggested something outrageous. You heard me, I said, smiling playfully. I wanted to keep the conversation light and ease him into the idea. Picture this. Me with a bit more up top. We go to a party, and suddenly everyone's noticing you're the guy with the stunning fiance everyone envies. Andy looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Maggie, you're already stunning. You don't need to change a thing. I appreciated that about him. I really did. But it wasn't only about how he saw me. I know you feel that way, I said, leaning in slightly. But this isn't about you. It's about how I feel when I look in the mirror. Honestly, I think I'd feel more confident, more noticeable. The more fake, he cut in, and I almost dropped my fork. Fake? I shot back. Do you really think wanting to enhance my appearance makes me fake? No, I'm just saying you don't need to change yourself for other people, he replied, clearly trying to backpedal. It's not about other people, I insisted. Okay, maybe that wasn't entirely true, but I wasn't about to admit that. It's about me feeling good in my own skin. And yeah, if others notice, is that really so bad? He just stared at me, lost for words, so I pressed on. Think about it, I said, trying a new approach. Hey, when we go out, wouldn't you love it if every guy in the room was looking at me, wishing they were you? Wouldn't you feel proud, knowing you're with the most gorgeous woman in the place? Andy shook his head. Maggie, I don't need other guys to notice you to feel proud. I already am. That was sweet, but he was missing the point. It's not just about you, Andy. I want to feel that too. I want to be the woman who turns heads, who walks into a room and owns it. He sighed and rubbed his temples, looking exasperated. This doesn't feel like you, he said. You've never cared about stuff like this before. That's not true, I argued. I've just never said it out loud, but I see it all the time. My friends getting work done and feeling incredible afterward. Like Jenna with her Brazilian butt lift, she's glowing. And Sophie with her lip fillers, she's so much more confident now. Andy didn't look convinced, but I kept going. It's not just about how they look. It's about how they carry themselves. They feel great and it shows. I want that for myself too. For a moment, I thought he was going to say something. But instead, he took another bite of his food. I continued, Look, Andy, I'm not saying this is something I need, but it's something I want. Think about how amazing our wedding photos would look. Think about how happy I'd be, how confident I'd feel. Wouldn't that be worth it? Finally, he looked up. I just don't understand, he said softly. Why isn't my opinion enough? Why isn't it enough that I already think you're beautiful? That stung because his opinion did matter. Your opinion means everything, I said. But so does mine. And right now, this feels like something I need to do for myself, not for you, not for anyone else. Just for me. He stayed quiet and the silence was heavy. I wanted him to understand, to see my perspective, but I could tell he was struggling. Finally, I added, Look, Andy, I'm not asking you to love the idea right now. I'm just asking you to consider it. Try to see it from where I'm standing. He nodded, but it was clear he wasn't convinced. Honestly, I wasn't sure if he ever would be. Eventually, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Maggie kept going on about the surgery, how it would boost her confidence, make her stand out. And I'd had enough. The thought of her feeling she had to alter herself to feel better or worse, to get attention from other guys, infuriated me. Let me get this straight, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. You want me to pay for you to get a boob job so you can what? Be the center of attention at every party? Maggie, you're already incredible. I love you as you are, and now you're telling me that's not enough? That you need other guys to notice you just to feel validated? She crossed her arms, narrowing her eyes. It's not like that, Andy. I just want to feel more confident in my own body. I shook my head. No, Maggie, that's exactly what it is. You want guys to see you as some kind of prize, and you're asking me to pay for it. Don't you think that's a little twisted? She rolled her eyes, visibly annoyed. It's not about random guys' attention, it's about how I feel about myself. I want to feel sexy, for us, but also for me. I want to feel like I'm special. I let out a dry laugh. You're already special to me. What happened to being happy with what we have? I love your body the way it is. Am I supposed to feel proud now because other guys are ogling you? That's what's going to improve our relationship? Her eyes flashed and she took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Andy, if you can't even understand why this matters to me, then I don't know what else to say. I want to be with you, but I also want to be the kind of woman people admire when they see her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So that's it, huh? You don't care about me. You just want to be noticed, desired. Do you even hear yourself? Stop twisting this, she shot back. You're not listening. It's about how I feel. When we go out, I want to feel like I stand out. I want people to notice me. I want to feel like I'm worth more than whatever I am now. I stood up and started pacing, trying to steady my nerves, but I was fed up. Maggie, you're worth so much more than just how others perceive you. You're worth more than even how I see you. If you think this surgery is going to solve whatever it is you feel is wrong, you're mistaken. She stepped closer, her expression pleading, as if she was trying to make me understand. I just want you to be proud of me. You don't get it. If I looked different, if I had bigger breasts, it would make everything better. It would make us feel closer, more connected. Proud of you? I repeated, the words cutting deeper than I expected. I'm already proud of you. But now you're asking me to pay for something so you can get attention from other people? So you can feel desired by other guys? Is that really what you think I want? She didn't back down. It's my body, Andy. I have the right to make decisions about it. If you can't support me, I'll do this without you. But you're blowing this way out of proportion. I felt my anger rise, my patience quickly slipping away. You're damn right it's a big deal. You're asking me to pay for you to change something I don't think needs changing. But no, you want to make it about me, don't you? Like, if I really loved you or supported you, I'd just pay for it. The truth is, Maggie, I'm not going to fund this. I'm not paying for you to seek validation from other people. She stared at me, her face hardening like I'd just slapped her. So, that's it? You won't support me? You won't help me feel better about myself? And now you're leaving me to figure it out alone? I didn't waver. Just like it's your body and your choice, it's my wallet and my choice. I'm not going to pay for something that's all about impressing others. If this was truly for you, that'd be one thing. But if it's about turning heads and collecting attention, I can't get behind that. I'm not here to bankroll your insecurities. Her expression shifted from anger to something more vulnerable, almost broken. I can't believe this, she said quietly. I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd want me to feel good about myself. Taking a deep breath, I tried to stay composed. I do want you to feel good about yourself, but not at the expense of our relationship. You're not doing this for you. You're doing this for how others will see you. Now, I'm starting to doubt if you're even fully committed to us, or just looking for a way out. She stormed off, slamming the door behind her. I stood there, realizing she wanted to change herself for everyone else but me. I couldn't support that, not now, not ever. Later, Maggie went ahead with the surgery anyway. She took out a loan to pay for it, convinced it was the right decision. Looking back, she admitted she probably should have thought it through more carefully, but at the time, it felt like the answer. She imagined becoming this upgraded, confident version of herself. Someone who would finally feel noticed and fulfilled. But reality was different. When Andy found out, his reaction was nothing like what she'd envisioned. She expected him to be hurt, angry, maybe even to beg her not to go through with it. But instead, he seemed detached, and that was worse. Much worse. He wasn't upset or outraged. He just didn't seem to care. It was devastating in a way she hadn't prepared for. His response was simple. Okay, cool. You do you. That's when it hit her. He wasn't going to fight for them, for their relationship. Standing in front of him, she tried desperately to explain. She insisted it wasn't about him, but about her need to feel in control, to reclaim something for herself. But he didn't even flinch. There was no drama, no argument. He just looked her in the eye and said, "We're done." The words froze her in place. What do you even say to that? She tried to explain herself, to justify her decision, but it was like talking to a wall. Andy wasn't angry or loud. He was just finished. He didn't give her a chance to plead her case. It was final. Like he'd opened the door and told her she could leave whenever she was ready. And that was it. She hadn't expected him to be so calm. She thought there'd be yelling, maybe even some kind of emotional outburst. But the absence of passion hurt in ways she didn't know she could feel. It wasn't just the surgery. It was the realization that Andy had let go, and nothing she could say would change that. The end of the engagement wasn't just about losing Andy as my fiancé. It felt like he had stopped caring about me entirely. So, I left. But oddly enough, I wasn't heartbroken. I was more puzzled than anything else. I truly believed we would talk everything through, but he was already far past that stage. As for me, I couldn't process it. Wasn't this decision supposed to make me feel strong, confident, and in control? Instead, all I felt was an overwhelming emptiness. Fast forward 3 months, and there I was, standing in front of the mirror, filled with regret over every single part of my decision. I had convinced myself that the surgery would change everything for the better, but now all I could see were the scars. That confidence I had imagined never came. What had I done? The scars hadn't healed the way I thought they would, and now I was constantly self conscious, worrying if people noticed them. I kept fiddling with my clothes, trying to hide them, but the stares from others told me they could see, and I hated it. The irony wasn't lost on me. I had wanted this attention so badly, dreaming of walking into rooms and turning heads. And now, when people did look, all I could do was wonder what they were thinking. Were they judging me? Could they see the scars? Did they know I had done this out of a desperate need for validation from others? It felt like a constant tug of war in my mind. I kept thinking about what it would be like to date again. Would a new partner even accept my body? Would they see my choice as a mistake? And then there was intimacy. How was I supposed to feel sexy when I couldn't stop obsessing over my appearance? The surgery, which I thought would empower me, had become the source of my deepest insecurities. Instead of the confident woman I had envisioned, I felt worse than ever. And then there was Andy. I couldn't stop thinking about him. As much as I hated to admit it, he had been right all along. Back then, I hadn't wanted to hear it. He had calmly tried to explain his perspective, but I had dismissed him, acting like he didn't understand. The truth is, he did. He saw what I couldn't, even before I went through with it. Now, I wish I'd listened. I wish I could undo everything, but that isn't an option. Now I'm left to face the consequences of my actions. Andy had told me he wouldn't be part of my need for outside approval, and he had been absolutely right. The surgery didn't bring me the confidence or validation I thought it would. It left me with scars, both physical and emotional, and a crushing sense of doubt. I keep asking myself if it was worth it. Was changing my body worth losing someone who genuinely loved and cared for me? I don't know the answer. All I know is that I wish I could go back and make a different choice, but I can't. What's done is done, and now I have to figure out how to live with it. The truth is, I don't feel any more secure or validated than I did before. If anything, I feel even more lost. The attention I had craved never really came in the way I expected. Instead, I'm left trying to hide my scars and grappling with the regret that haunts me. And the worst part? There's no undoing it. I'm left with these scars and a hollow feeling that just won't fade. That's the side no one tells you about. You think a big, life-changing decision like this will fix everything and bring clarity, but it doesn't. It leaves you to face the reality of the choice you made, and that reality is rarely as beautiful as the dream you had in your mind.